video is going to be about the fluid cooler. So in the previous video I talked about the glycol loop and where the glycol travels through and picks up heat. And in this video I'm going to show the fluid cooler and talk a little bit about how it works. So the fluid cooler is up on the roof. On the computer screen, if you click on the fluid cooler tab, you'll see these green and spinning whenever the fans are running. But just because the fans are running doesn't mean the pump isn't running. So right now the pump for the fluid cooler is still circulating the glycol. Where are we here? So if you look at the pump right here for the fluid cooler, it's showing that it's going out at 28 and it's coming back at 27. And so you saw this just turned green, and that's because it just got hot enough that it's now calling for the fans to run. So you can see this set point here is now below the glycol temperature that's going out to the cooling tower, or the fluid cooler. So previously the glycol wasn't so warm, so the fans weren't running. It was still circulating. Oh, and now you see they just stopped. So the glycol is still circulating through here, but the fans are getting cycled on and off based on demand. And those fans will go faster or slower based on demand. So now I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go outside and go up on the roof, and I'll actually show you the fluid cooler up there. Okay, so now I'm just coming up onto the roof, and so this is the fluid cooler. This is what you were looking at on the diagram downstairs. You can't see it here, but beneath these covers is a whole bunch of small little pipes. This is the header, and the pipes are running through behind. So this here is a medium. It kind of feels a little bit like cardboard, and that's what the air gets pulled through. And as the air gets pulled through there, it's getting pulled across these little fins. And so down here at this end, you can see these are all the small little tubes that the glycol is getting fed through. So you can see it's coming up, branching off, and it's doing a big loop. You see these two here. If you put your hands on both of them, you can probably notice a very slight temperature difference. And if you look at the computer screen downstairs, you would you'd be able to see those readings. But essentially, we've got our supply and return lines. If I look over the side of the building here, you can see where it's coming out and going back. And so this one here would be supply, this one here would be return. Hopefully we can get those labeled. And then if you look up on the top here, there is the fans. And so altogether there's 14 fans, and these fans will turn on and off as needed. So right now you can see that all the fans are off, and depending on the glycol temperature, as the glycol warms up, as it is causing the ammonia to condense and it's picking up the heat from the ammonia, if it gets warm enough, the fans will turn on. That'll pull air through here and it'll cool this off faster. The reason they're not running right now, even though the plant is running, is because it's winter and it's cold enough outside that just the glycol circulating through the system in these smaller pipes outside is enough to get the amount of cooling that is currently required. If it was a warmer day out, then those fans would be running. But in order to make it as efficient as possible, we don't use the electricity if we don't need to. So those fans don't run unless they're required to. In the middle of summer, you are going to have much warmer ambient temperature, so it's going to be a lot warmer out. And in order to get the same cooling that you need, you're going to have not just air moving through those, so the fans will ramp up to 100%, but you'll also have water being sprayed on that membrane. So this membrane that I showed you here, it'll have water running down it. So you see that green pipe right there? That's where the water is going to flow from. And it's only going to run water over it when the temperature is something like 18 or 20 degrees Celsius. And it'll run down over this medium. That'll help with the cooling effect. And you can see here is the drain, and it still needs to be hooked up, but that green line at the bottom there is the drain. And so that is essentially how the fluid cooler works. If you notice the glycol level in that tank downstairs that tops up the glycol system as needed keeps dropping over time. Right now we're still working some air out of it, but once the air is all worked out, if it still is dropping, there's a few different places that glycol leaks could be happening, and this is one of them. So it's possible that there could be glycol escaping through all these little tubes somewhere. So this would be one of the places that Gateway or somebody would have to come and inspect for glycol leaks if we were ever losing glycol. I hope that gives you a better understanding of how the fluid cooler functions and why you will sometimes see it running and sometimes not, even though the plant is operating. That's all.